Hello and welcome to another edition of Garland in Focus. I'm Dorothy White, and today we're talking about Garland Power and Light and all the efforts to make customer service easier and better for all your customers. Joining me is Kevin Slay, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about billing options, how we receive our bills. I get a paper bill in the mail, but that's not the only option, is there?
No, it's not, Dorothy. And by the way, I just want to say thank you for coming over to see us today. But we recently introduced a new option for our customers as it relates to receiving the bill, and it's essentially an e-bill. We're able to now, for customers that choose to receive their bill in that manner, send the bill via email. And within the body of the email will be just kind of a brief description as it relates to how much is owed, the payment due date, and some basic information about the bill, as well as a PDF attachment of the actual bill itself. So if you're still a customer and want to look at that thing and look at your consumption history, you can always double-click on the little attachment and voila, there's your bill.
There is a lot of good information on that bill, and so that attachment's going to be worth opening. Tell us a little bit about some of the information that we can get from those bills.
I want to remind you, I know you're a Garland utility customer, but our bills contain not only the electric component or electric consumption, but water and environmental waste services. And the bill will give a complete history of the last 12 months of consumption, with a little graph. It will give all the pertinent information that you're accustomed to seeing as it relates to due dates, meter reading consumption, dial numbers, and just a variety of information on there. But it is several utilities and not just electric, for example.
And that's very important to note. There's another option on our bills, an opportunity to help those who may be having trouble paying their utilities.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, there should be a box, a rectangle box on that bill stub that says paid program, and that's provide aid in dollars. And we actually have hundreds of customers each month that round up their bill. And we utilize those round, in many cases it's really nickels and dimes and pennies and quarters, but every little bit helps. But we have a lot of customers that choose to do that. They round up, and we use those funds along with additional funds that we make available to help those in need. It's part of our energy assistance program, and I'm very, very excited that we have so many customers currently doing that each month. But it's the paid program.
And that's really easy to do. All you have to do is round up what you pay. Is there any little box you need to click or check?
There's a little box, and if your bill is, say, $50.80, you can put 20 cents in that box and write a check for $51, and we'll take that 20 cents and put it in a little bucket to be used to assist those that are in need here locally as it relates to their utility bill.
Excellent. Well, thank you. That's good information. And when it does come to paying your bills, there are a lot of different options there as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
We have a lot of customers exercising just buying a stamp, dropping it in the mail to us. We also have a very large group, and this is an area as it relates to paying bills that more and more customers are choosing to exercise, and that's electronically, either through PC banking, through the convenience of their home, through their bank. They're paying their bills that way. We receive a lot of those. Through online, using maybe their credit card. We have a link that will take you to a Western Union SpeedPay site where you can pay your utility bill with a credit card. We have automatic bank draft that a number of our customers are choosing to utilize for paying their bill. Of course, we have the drive-through facility down the road, a couple of blocks down here on State Street at State and Glenbrook. We have a walk-in payment center here. We have close to 100 locations throughout Garland, such as Kroger or Fiesta. I don't have time to name them all. I honestly don't know them all. There's so many. But we do have a number of locations where you can pay your utility payment while you're shopping, or doing some of your retail business.
Yes, I've looked at that on the website because I was curious how many of those we have, and I was impressed to see that we even have some that are outside of Garland and some of our surrounding communities. For those who may work outside of Garland, it may be most convenient for them to visit those locations rather than, you know, something inside of Garland for whatever reason. So we certainly do make it easy for people to have an opportunity to pay their bills.
Yes, yes.
And there's also opportunities for people to go online and manage their account, look at their account, see what's going on with their account, correct?
That is correct. Before we move on to that, I forgot to mention, you can also call.
Of course,
And
yeah.
there is a prompt option if you want to pay your bill over the phone, you can push a prompt option that will take you to an IVR that will allow you to pay your bill via the IVR, the telephone as well. So I wanted to make sure I covered all those bases. It is probably the fastest growing area as it relates to consumers paying their utility bills, is electronically over the phone or via the web. But back to your other question about account management.
Sure.
Yes, we at our garlandutilities.org, there you can get to a link called account management, and customers can go ahead and sign up, and then that way, whenever they choose, they can go in and view account history, their payment history, amount owed. I mean, there's a lot of information as it relates to an individual's personal utility account that they can view online anytime, day or night.
Well, that's good. We always like to have access to information so that we kind of can keep track of what's going on with our account, or if we have questions, a good place to start. But sometimes we have questions where we really do need to talk to somebody. What's the best way to do that?
You can always come up here and see us in person. But as you well know, there's a lot of construction downtown right now, and so I think a lot of our customers are going to choose or want to choose to call we have a contact center that's open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. We have a large group of employees up there that traditionally are answering 800 to 1,200 calls a day. And these are utility-related calls about their bills, about a variety of things. And I think that's probably the most popular way of contacting us is calling 972-205-2671.
Okay.
And so, again, you can come up here and see us, or you can give us a call on the phone. We also have a young lady, or several employees that are dedicated to responding to emails.
That's good.
So we have our own customer service email address out there that, you know, if it's late at night and we're not going to be able to answer the phone for you and you can't get up here, it's okay just to send us an email as well. And you can find that, you know, that email link at garlandutilities.org. I want to add one other thing. I would ask, you know, we are moving into the hot summer months.
Yes.
And, you know, we track call center volume. And we're moving into probably one of the most busiest periods or time of the year for our group,
Yes,
where our call volume goes up quite a bit. And I'd ask that individuals that need to connect with us, maybe through a phone call, be patient, because during the middle of the day, this time of year, we're getting a lot of calls, and I've got to let employees go to lunch. So I'm kind of rotating folks in and out, and so a lot of times my peak call volume hits around noontime.
Yes.
And so
When everybody else is at lunch.
Yes, ma'am, when everybody else is at lunch. So, but we would love to hear from you, and don't ever hesitate to give us a call. We got a lot of great people up there.
So particularly during these peak times like summer, it might be best to try the email route. Because that way someone will get back to you quickly, and they'll get back to you quickly on the call-in as well, but that way it's a little easier to manage the volume.
Yes, yes.
Now, is there some specific information, particularly if I'm sending an email or if I'm going to get on the phone during one of those peak busy times, what's some information I need to make sure I have on hand to make that time efficient?
Dorothy, it's always nice when a customer can provide us with an account number, but many times customers don't always have their bill with them. But we would prefer an account number And I have to make sure that you are who you say you are, and that I can officially talk to you about that account. So I need another piece of identifying information.
That's good to know.
And typically, with all of our utility accounts, we have a driver's license number associated with that account. So if a customer could be prepared to provide their account number, their driver's license number for verification purposes, and we always like to make sure we have a good phone number on file with those utility accounts. They come in handy many times in the event of an outage,
Yeah.
or needing it's the primary access for getting hold of people.
Absolutely.
So, going to ask for your phone number. Make sure we've got a good phone number, your account number, and driver's license number, or state ID.
A state ID is
Some
a good
kind of
one,
ID
too.
like
Yes,
that, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like we've covered a whole lot of territory here that really ought to help your customers better understand how to get their billing information, how to make sure that they're paying their bills on time and promptly, and how to get information if they need that. So, Kevin, is there anything else you need to share? I think we've covered it, maybe?
I think we've covered it. I'm sure I'll think of something after we get out of here, but appreciate your time.
Not a problem. Thank you so much, Kevin. We appreciate your time. And we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how to save a little money on that energy bill by making your home more energy efficient.
Hi, I'm Reagan, and I'm here with everyone's favorite pet, Scratchy, to discuss the things he needs in order to live a real dog's life. Scratch, what do owners need to do in order to be more responsible?
Silly Reagan, you know dogs can't speak. Now stop.
And get that puppy Scratchy vaccinated. Oh, don't be stupid. Spay and neuter. Don't be stupid. Puppies and kitties cannot get stuff for themselves. They need food, water, and shelter to keep them all in good health. You know your pet can be naked. They need a collar and leash. You need to be responsible because your pets cannot speak. Like whoop whoop. Check out this tag if you need some help. Whoop whoop.
When you're ready to add a furry new friend to your family, come visit Garland Animal Services.
Welcome back to Garland in Focus. Before we start talking about energy savings, Kevin did come up with a little point he wanted me to remind you of. When you go to garlandutilities.org, there are many service request related forms available for you there. Just explore the site. You will find all kinds of helpful tools there. So now one of the most helpful things we can learn about is how to save money on our bills. And Garland Power and Light and the city participate in a very important energy saver program, and David Kaliba is here to tell us about this.
We have a program that we developed a few years back mainly for our residential customers, but we do have a couple of programs for our small commercial customers as well as our large commercial customers. But basically what we want to do is we're wanting to find out a way where we could help customers save a little bit of energy, be more comfortable, and then give them a little bit of money back to help pay for these measures, because some of them can be quite expensive.
They can be an investment.
Absolutely. Like if you're replacing your air conditioning system, that can run into a lot of money. So.
Certainly can. So you're trying to make this a little more worthwhile for us.
Exactly. And the program's been running since 2008, and it's been very successful. And just to tell you a little bit about the program, we've got one piece of the program is for replacing your central system. So if you have a central system at your home and you're thinking about replacing that and you're a GP&L customer, I need to stress that because not all customers in Garland are served by the electric company GP&L. So if you're a GP&L customer and you're thinking about replacing your air conditioning system, give us a call or go to our website and find out there's minimum requirements for the program. 15 SEER. I know that sounds weird, but it's 15 is the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. So that number, when you go and talk to contractors or you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, they'll be able to tell you exactly what that means. And so if you're replacing your system and you put in one that has that rating, that minimum rating, we can get you, it starts at $500 and it goes all the way to $900.
And these are bill credits, correct?
Yes, they are. That's a good point. We don't actually cut checks and send them to customers because that saves a lot of money and time. What we do is we go into your GP&L bill after we've gotten your paperwork and everything looks fine. and then we just apply their credit based on how efficient the system is that you put in.
I have to tell you, a friend of mine did that several years ago, and it was great fun because she installed a new system right at the beginning of summer, and because of the credits, she didn't pay another electric portion of her utility bill for a few months. It was terrific.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind too is we've got customers that have 2 or 3 systems in their home. So there's no limit on how many systems you can install and still qualify for the program. So you could look at really quite a bit of money credited back where you
that's
maybe don't have to
excellent.
pay your bill for 3 or 4 months.
That's excellent. So tell me, what kind of projects can I do in my house? I mean, maybe I don't really need to or want to spend the money to install a whole new AC system, but what are some other projects that might qualify for some of these credits?
Well, that's a good lead into the second program that we have, which is called our Whole House Weatherization Program, and it's part of the Energy Saver Program. And it's really for existing homes. A lot of homes in any city were built in the 70s and back, or even into the early 80s. As time has gone by, requirements for insulation values, windows, doors has really gone up. But there's a lot of homes out there that for example, if I can show you this right quick, let me show you this right here. This is basically an example of if you think about your attic, okay? And most of the contractors nowadays blow in cellulose insulation, and it's perfect, it doesn't itch or anything. You'll see a lot of they still use the rolled bat, but this is actually an easier way because it completely covers the attic. But part of our program, we have a lot of customers. There's a lot of houses out there, not just in Garland, that have the bare minimum in their attic, maybe 4 inches of insulation. We're recommending at least 12. And that's one part of the Whole House Weatherization Program, where we will actually pay you per square foot based on how much insulation you put in. That's one of the things that we do. And this has been very, very popular because it's one of the most economical and least expensive things you can do to save money in the winter
Because
and the
it's not
summer.
a horrifically expensive project, and at the same time, it's lowering your consumption, so those credits will last you a little bit longer even.
Absolutely. Insulation in your attic does a tremendous job of keeping the cool air in, even though it's hot outside right now. The cool air in the winter, and it keeps the hot air out in the summer.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about putting in more insulation, remember we require at least 12 inches. That's on top of what you already have. So if you have 4, you just need 8 more.
Okay.
Another thing that we have that qualifies for our program are our solar screens. See through that. But basically, one of the guys on my team went and bought the material just to make this demo, so you can actually make this stuff. But I, myself, a few years back, hired a contractor, very reasonable, to put on solar screens for all of my east-west windows. And that's a pretty important point.
You don't need them all the way around the house. You need them on those sides where the sun hits.
You can put them all the way around. A lot of people love the fact that they add security. Because from the inside, you can really see outside, but to see in, you really got to get right up on it. But this particular screen will knock out about 85% UV rays, and it's amazing what
a difference that makes.
you can set this in your window and put your hand on the glass here without it, and then over here, and it's a tremendous difference. But I've had them for about 10 years, and they're still in good shape, and you can get them to match your brick. They make different colors, but this is really inexpensive for window treatment to save money, and we give you money back on that too.
So you get a lot of return on that particular investment.
Yes.
Now, there are other projects and things that you can do that qualify, and you said before, if we go look at Garland Power Light, garlandpower-light.org.
Yes, that's it.
Go look at the website. There's information there. Is there also a phone number?
Yeah, there's a number too. It's 972-205-2929.
Okay.
And when you dial that number, it goes to an answering machine, which is me, and you leave your message, and our guys are checking that throughout the day, and they'll call you right back for whatever question you may have.
Okay, whether your project qualifies, if there's other projects, or just how the program works, if you need more information.
Yeah, and also you may just have a question about how your home's using energy, because we do offer energy audits for our customers as well.
Excellent. And it may be important to note as well, there's a set amount of money each year for these programs.
Yes, that's a
So
good
you want to
point.
apply early in the year in order to make sure that your project has an opportunity for this project.
Yeah, if you go to the website, on the form itself, it will tell you in bold letters, please, when you go to the website and get into the programs, we've tried to make a good effort of letting customers know, please contact us before to make sure we still have funds available.
Excellent. That's an important thing to note. Now, even in addition to these programs, there's other things we can do to make our homes more energy efficient, save a few dollars, whether it qualifies for a program or not. Tell us a few of those tips.
I've got probably everybody's seen one of these. Well, if you haven't, then
I've got two in my garage that
is
are squeaky clean. I've never bothered to use them.
It's amazing, especially when we're talking about those older homes, or even homes that have been built for, say, 10 years. My house was built in '94, and because we have extreme temperatures, we've got 20 degrees sometimes in the winter, and today it's 102. Let me use this as an example. If this was your window, around your window there's a caulk bead.
Yeah.
And I guarantee I can go out to mine right now, and over time that caulk expands, contracts, and then it starts cracking. Well, if you've got an air conditioning system and it comes on, and you're pulling air from the outside, so you're pulling 105-degree temperature into your house, and the air conditioner's having to get rid of that heat. So if you get one of these guns, I say caulking guns, and get you a good exterior silicone, and go around all your windows and doors, it doesn't sound like much, but if you've got a lot of windows, it really adds up to a really big hole if you just leave
I
it
can see where that does.
not fixed, if you will. One of the things I would recommend is to try to get the old caulk out.
Okay, so try to start with a clean base.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Another thing, I'll go back to the attic. One of the things you need to try to find out through your contractor or through a home improvement store is, do I have enough ventilation in my attic?
Okay.
It's kind of like getting in your car and driving down the road with the windows rolled up and not turning the air conditioner on. So it gets really, really hot. Now, if you roll your windows down, it gets a little bit, it's not as hot.
But you could survive without the air conditioning on the road. Yes, I got you.
So even though you may have 12 inches of insulation in your attic, if you don't have the right amount of ventilation for it to breathe, then you're really kind of defeating it a little bit.
Well,
so
that's
that helps a
important
lot. If you're not looking at solar screens, you can put drapes. Anything you can do to keep the sun from coming in, and it's easier on your furniture as well.
Yes, I added drapes to my living room for that very reason, so that it would kind of keep the heat out.
Yeah, and it really does a good job. Another thing that I highly recommend are ceiling fans. I have a ceiling fan in my bathroom. I have a ceiling fan in every room in my house, because that allows you to maybe turn the thermostat from 77 to maybe 79, and it still feels 77 because that air is moving around. And as long as it's hitting your skin versus just stagnant, if you will, where the air's not moving, it may be 79 degrees in there, but if you start moving some air around a little bit, then it makes a huge difference.
And thermostat settings make a huge difference.
Yes. I'm always fighting with mine. I've got a programmable thermostat. That's another thing I want to show here in a second. But as the temperature starts to rise, May, June, July, and then peaking in August, my temperature changes. So I start out with maybe 75, and then when it gets hotter, it's 77. So I still feel as good. But one thing to remember is between, say, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock every day, our system for the whole state of Texas is very taxed.
Yes, it is.
We've got the power plants are running, it's 100 degrees here, it's 100 degrees in Brownsville, it's 100 degrees in San Antonio. But my point is, if it's 105 outside and you want it to be 72, that air conditioner is going to run and run and run and run, even if it's brand new and it's properly sized. So you need to kind of think about kicking it up, 4 or 5 degrees. Maybe 78 is the number we always talk about.
So if I raise the thermostat a little bit, but use the ceiling fan in the room that I'm
Yes.
in, not the rest of the house.
Perfect.
Then I might be more comfortable without expending so much energy
Exactly.
and putting so much, taxing the system as much
Yes, the fan, it uses a whole lot less
than your AC
than
for
the
the
air
whole
conditioner
house.
does. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, somebody told me once, don't leave the fan on while you're gone. Who are you keeping cool?
The dogs, maybe.
My dog appreciates it, I will tell you that.
But another thing too is when you're washing and drying clothes, if you can avoid between 2 and 7, because you're just when you're drying clothes, even though it's vented to the outside, there's still that heat that's getting put into the house. Also, if your oven's coming on, we don't want you to wait until after 7 to eat, but it does, anytime you have an appliance that's going to add heat, that air conditioner has to work
that
more.
much
It's going to see that and recognize that and have to get rid of it. And one of the things that I recommend, and I do this every Saturday, when I do all my clothes, I do them all at once. And this is not huge, but once you run your dryer once and you pull those clothes out, put your second load in and don't wait. The dryer's already heated up, so you're kind of ahead of the head
Save
of the
just a little bit
game,
there.
a little bit,
Every
yeah.
little bit matters.
Yeah. Vacuum behind your refrigerator, pull it out. I pull mine out about once a year and find all kinds of stuff, but
Well, and that's also a safety thing. You wanted, lint collects behind your appliances, your major appliances, refrigerator, washer, dryer. You want to be able to clean that out periodically, both for energy efficiency, but also for safety.
yeah, and then also, I keep thinking about stuff here. Your central air if you have a central air conditioning system, and don't let me forget about window units right quick.
Window units.
Central air conditioning systems have a filter.
Oh, yeah, no, I've heard about those.
Now mine's up in my attic, so to change mine out, I got to climb up the attic. But you really need to change that out every 30 days. Now, if you go to a home improvement store, there's 50 different kinds of filters out there. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I wouldn't buy the cheapest and I wouldn't buy the most expensive. I'd find something in the middle. But it's amazing that air is coming into your system. It's got to go past that filter. And if that filter has been in there for 6 months and it's clogged, no air is getting through there. So
it has
your
to work that
system's
much harder.
really having to work hard. So replace your filters.
Okay, window units?
Window units. There's a lot of homes here in Garland and everywhere else that are cooled with window units, window air conditioning systems. And we have a program for Energy Star rated window units. So if you go to Sears or Home Depot or Lowe's, for example, just look for the Energy Star label. It's a yellow label. And as long as you buy one that's Energy Star rated, we can give you some money back on that as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it sounds like there are many, many ways that we can make our homes more energy efficient, save us some money, still be comfortable
Yeah,
even in the Texas
exactly.
summer. And people can call you at the Energy Advisor phone number again. Want to give me that
Sure,
again?
that's 972-205-2929.
Okay.
And just leave a message, whatever kind of message you might have, and our guys will call you back as soon as possible.
And there's also a wealth of just conservation tips on the website, garlandpower-light.org, and explore the website. You'll find those tools as well. So is there anything else you want to make sure we know?
I could probably talk all day, but I think that's enough for now.
And couldn't we all? It's an excellent topic and it means a lot to a lot of us. So thank you very much for joining us for this segment of Garland in Focus. We'll see you next time.